Greetings, people. Welcome to the latest episode of Rough Draft. I am your host, Kevin Alberto Savio, and in this episode, I'll be talking about giving flowers to those who are no longer with us. Thank you for tuning into this latest episode of Rough Draft. We are now in the month of November, and in the month of November, you have Novel November, formerly known as NaNoWriMo. So originally the concept for November was National Novel Writing Month. Unfortunately, the organization that ran that initiative is no longer running it. So the literary industry is still looking at the month as a special time for those of us who are authors and aspiring authors to actually start writing our work and take the entire month of November to write our novels. So specifically for, and especially for those aspiring novelists, definitely take the time for this November to actually start working on your projects and hopefully forward in your writing careers. Also on November 1st, you have the Pan African Martial Arts Federation that will be held in Newark, New Jersey. That is being hosted and organized by my brother Khalil Masi, an African martial artist. Also happening on the 1st is the Children's Africana Book Awards, and that will be held in Washington, D.C., also on November 1st. Happening on November 8th and 9th is the NC Comic Con. So that will be held in Durham, North Carolina. And so it's one of the larger comic book conventions that they hold here in the state. So if you're in the state, hopefully you get a chance to come through and participate. And also in November, I have a publishing anniversary. So you have boom. So Raise Your Brown Black Fist 2, More Political Shouts of an Angry Afro Latino. I actually published this book back in 2011, so it's 14 years old. Mm. Now to the subject at hand. I'm feeling a little melancholy, not just because of the recent passing of my birthday, but also I lost two dear friends this year so far. One friend that I lost is brother Tertel Onley. He's a comic book artist. He's actually the father of the Black Age of Comics movement. He also created his own Comic Con, the Black Age of Comics Convention, which is held in his home base of Chicago, Illinois. Um, I've actually known about Tertel like for a good number of years. I can't remember if he was either 99 or 2000. I remember hearing about him and his work because I was really starting to focus on learning more about the independent Black comic book movement and learning about all the people who participated in it and those who were like really prominent figures in that movement. He was just a wonderful artist. You know what I'm saying? I believe he was also part of the Black arts movement. I know he had a lot of influence in Chicago. He had his own publishing company. I think he had a few residencies and some museums out there and everything. I mean, he was a very impactful brother. I actually got a chance to meet Tertel, ooh, 15 years ago. It was in 2010, and I actually met him in Washington, D.C. It was this event called the Capital Hip Hop Soul Festival. So I was actually able to go to that event, and I was able to vend there, and actually co-vend with a friend of mine. Shout out to my sister, Tashika Miller, also known as author Charisma. And say we shared a table out there, and Tertel actually happened to be vending right next to us. And I knew when I saw the brother, it's like something about him was very familiar. I know he looked familiar. I'm saying had a really kind of this eccentric way about him, but also very deep and reserved and everything. And I remember I kind of got a chance to look at his table a little bit, and I saw you say some of his projects, which is Nog and Malcolm Ten and I think Sister or whatnot. And I'm like, wait, that's Tertel Unleash's work. So I'm like, yo, this brother right here. And so I remember I got the chance to meet him, and then I remember I was able to get up and go talk to him at his table. And I remember I was able to introduce myself to him, and for whatever reason, my name was familiar to him. And he was like, "Why does that name sound familiar, Kevin Savio?" And so I basically let him know. I was like, "Yeah, you might know me better. through my networking organization, the Universal Africana Literary Arts Movement. So he was kind of like, "That's you? You're him?" He's like, "Brother, I gotta give you a hug." So that was like one of the greatest experiences of my life. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who I actually looked up to in this industry, and like he was showing respect for me for what I was trying to do with my networking organization. And with this brother, you know what I'm saying? He always showed me love. He showed me a lot of encouragement. It was just like basically just keep doing what you're doing because you say what you're doing is needed and it's necessary. And unfortunately, Tertel ended up joining the ancestors earlier this year in January, which is crazy because he ended up joining the ancestors. He was called home like the week before his birthday, before he was supposed to turn, I believe, they were 70 or 71. So yeah, I believe it was Dr. Yumi Odom, uh, who was the one who let it be known. So that kind of when I found out about that hurt. You know what I'm saying? That's something that somebody I knew, who I knew personally, not just you know, say reputationally. And so it's just like the fact that the brother is no longer walking around with us. Yeah, that was something that really it really struck me. With a more recent passing that I had to deal with was my friend Christopher Cajigas, also known as Chilo. Uh Talented spoken word artist, poet, definitely an MC. With Chilo, ooh, I met him 11 years ago, actually, 2014. I'd actually moved back home to New York and I met him at the Mosaic Literary Conference. Shout out to my brother, Ron Kavanaugh. Um, he's the one who organizes the Mosaic Literary Conference. And I remember when I first met Chilo, Chilo was a panelist at the Mosaic Literary Conference. I believe it was him, this other poetic brother, advocate of words. I can never remember his government name. And Peggy Robles Alvarado. They were all on a panel together, and I remember I was there for the conference, and I was able to listen to all three of them, like all dope people. You know what I'm saying? Just to let you know. Um, and especially like getting to know Chilo and hearing him speak and being on that panel, I'm just like, yo, he's pretty cool. You know, he's really deep. He's kind of on the younger side, like pretty much in my age range or whatnot. Uh, I believe I'm only older than him by maybe 3 or 4 years, something to that effect. So we're definitely in the same, you see, time frame and age range. Um, and so there was an intermission, you know, saying lunch break. Everybody was able to get to eat and whatnot. And I remember was getting some food, and he happened to be standing there, and I'm just like, I remember I introduced myself to him, started talking and whatnot, and he just seemed so cool and really down to earth. And we just really just connected, and it's just like we just really just bonded, and especially like we have similar tastes in hip hop. We're like real conscious MCs and whatnot, real true lyricists, and the fact that we both have like our favorite MC is Rakim. You know what I'm saying? That was something we really instantly bonded over and whatnot. So it was just like being able to get in contact with him was a great blessing. And then it's just like I was able to tell him about what I was doing with you say not just my own work, but also with the Universal Africana Literary Arts Movement. I added him to the mailing list, so we've been in contact ever since. And like a couple of times, you know, saying before I left New York, there were a few events where we actually were able to see each other and reconnect and whatnot, other than just being on email, social media. So he's just like, yeah, what's good? You say he always showed me love, and then it's like, you know, what I'm saying especially shook my hand and be like, yo, bro, everything that you're doing with the mailing list, keep doing what you're doing because it's great information and it helps. It does help a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? No, that made me feel good. You know what I'm saying? And like I've listened to a lot of his poetry. You say I've downloaded some of his music specifically off of Bandcamp. So like, yeah, I was able to really be able to support my brother and show him some love. You know what I'm saying? And really connect with my dear friend. And unfortunately, Sheila ended up joining the ancestors recently, like basically that Friday before my birthday. Because this year my birthday fell on a Wednesday. I believe he joined the ancestors either that Thursday or Friday, and I was unaware of that until another mutual friend of ours posted on Facebook. I'm just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And especially right before my birthday, before turning 51, I'm just like, ow. You know what I'm saying? That was just something like it'd been a little while since I contacted him, and plus it's like him, saying transitioning was just very, very sudden. Like as far as I know, he wasn't sick, he wasn't going through anything. I don't exactly know the particulars of like how he ended up, joining the ancestors, but the fact that I lost my brother, yeah, it was kind of, yeah, I'm feeling a little melancholy about that. You know what I'm saying? Especially it was right before my own birthday passed, so yeah, losing a dear friend, a good friend, somebody who you actually do know personally, like it's different. It hits different. You feel me? So this is just me giving my flowers to these people who were very influential to me. You say people who I hold very dear to me, and people who I really respected. So I just wanted to do something special for them on this platform that I have. Whether a whole bunch of people watch it or not, that's another thing. But you say just for me, I wanted to do this for them and give them their flowers, even though they're no longer here to Thank you receive. Very much for tuning into this latest episode of The Rough Draft. If you would like a copy of any of my books in paperback format, you know where you need to go to get them. You can get them through these outlets of Author House, Outskirts Press, Create Space, Amazon.com, Barnes and Nobles, and Books a Million. And I do believe my books are available on bookshop.org. If you would like a digital version of my books and read the ebook version, my books are available through these platforms, which is Kindle, Nook, Kobo, Apple Books, Everand, Smashwords, Fable, and International Vivido, Toledo, and Gardeners. My books are also available in ebook format for libraries. So hopefully your library has account with any one of these distributors, which is Overdrive, Hoopla, unfortunately, Baker and Taylor no longer exists. So, uh, Palace Marketplace, Odillo, and internationally to the UK and Australia through BorrowBox. Um, if you are watching this video on YouTube, you know what you need to do. Please like the video, definitely leave a comment. I would love to hear your feedback. Definitely subscribe to the channel. And please, when you subscribe to the channel, please press the notification button. That way, you know when I say something in the community section or where I'm about to post a new video. And please remember that when you press the notification button that you press the all button of notifications. So, thank you very much for tuning into this latest episode of Rough Draft. You know how I end these videos. Please keep the fist raised. I am always on my literary grind. I'll catch you in the next episode soon. Grace.